We want it strong, so if they hit a tree again, you know, they'll be safe.
So right behind me, you see the Hoonicorn Replica. That's the passenger side. It's finished. All right, we're getting back to work on the C-Boys Hoonicorn Replica that you see right behind me. Now, if you don't know what the Hoonicorn is, Ken Block had the original Hoonicorn that is probably the most iconic car in the world, and it's at the Peterson Museum right now. So we had the opportunity to be able to rebuild this for the C-Boys. If you haven't seen the other videos, go back and watch them. But today, we got to get this rocker panel on that we built, and we got to start figuring out this fender. So last time, got the quarter panel all put on. It's all hand built. Sean built the scoop. We both kind of got the quarter panel put on. He finished welded it. Yeah. We welded it out. Sean's got it all ground, and we're moving on to the fender after the rocker. So we're gonna bead roll this thing. We'll explain what that is here in a second and show you, and then we'll get it put back up in place and start figuring out that fender. So what we've got here is we've laid out all the spots that we're gonna bead roll, and what the bead rolling does is it actually stiffens this panel so that it's not just a flimsy, flat piece of metal. So we're gonna put it into the bead roller, into the dies, and we're gonna run a bead right here, and we're gonna show you just how to do that on our Bailey Industrial bead roller. Once you hit, how many times are you going around? 10 times. So Sean's gonna tighten that up 10 rounds, and then we're gonna put it through this roller. So we'll bead roll half of it, flip the dies, and then we'll bead roll the rest out here. So as you can see, we're just putting a roll into it. It's gonna stiffen this whole thing up. It looks like it's a little ski-wampus right now, but once we flip the dies and roll the other sides into it, it's gonna make this thing super, super strong. So you can see how it's about halfway stiffened. We're gonna flip the dies around like we said, and then you're gonna see us out here doing the rest of it. So yeah, enjoy. All right, dies are all flipped around. Now we gotta think this out. We'll have to do a little bit of work there, but check that out. We got our first one finished. That looks pretty dang good. Yeah. It's almost like an expert and a child did it.
Thump on the table.
That's what I'm excited for, is to do that. So now you can see what we were doing. We were making the indents go in so they don't protrude out, because this is our flat bottom. Looks pretty dang good. Now we're gonna take it over to the bench, get it all straightened out to where it's not so flippy floppy. And Sean's gonna show us how to do that. It's all tense. So we're gonna do some chiropractic work, just a little. Yeah. That one popped real nice. So what's happened is that the corners get real mad and they get all tense. So Sean's just beating them into submission. We're gonna grab a hammer and dolly and fix these start and stops, and then this panel will be ready to be installed. This is gonna make the rocker and the belly pan so much better when the C-Boys spin out. So you're gonna spin out, and it's not gonna catch anything. It's just gonna rub their bottoms. Yeah. I'm in. Are you in? Come right back to your tack. So we've got some blocks underneath that we're able to slide onto. Sean's got it all pre-ground right where it needs to be. We're gonna have a ton of welding to do once this car comes off of the Siegmund table, but it's gonna be awesome. Now what we're gonna do up front, where the fender mounts, we're gonna round this front edge off because there's gonna be a big scoop here, and that's why we're cutting the fender all up. We're gonna arch the wheel well way up high, put a awesome vent that'll pull all the heat out of the brakes, and it'll be very, very close to the original Hoonicorn. So you can see this is all going to get welded in here, and this is going to be the new rocker panel. But all the bead rolls that we just did, you can see they fit perfectly inside all the structure for the frame. Got the big one here. Look at that, just perfectly inside. Got a little baby one back here for this little cutout. So we wanted that for the structure, and then we're going to plug weld on the bottom side here, and it'll really rigid that up. So this car is going to be super rigid. It's also going to get a full cage all through here. It's going to be so awesome. Here Sean's getting the filler panels all put in. So this is going to round out here, and then it's going to get cut off, and that'll get capped. It's going to look really, really awesome. So now we got that tacked. We're gonna open the door and adjust the front down because it's tight here. Then we'll tack the front. Now we're gonna go and tack inside the jam. So we're just moving along back to the quarter panel. All right, so now the quarter panel and the rocker have become one. Got to do some filler work on the front, get that all welded in. Bottom needs to get all welded through the door. Then we work on the fenders. You can see right here, the door just gets a little bit tight. So we'll pull this down, or we'll shave the door and get it all to line up perfect. All right, got the filler piece tacked in place. Now we just keep adding to it until we get this whole shape the way we want it. All right, so this is time consuming, but what we're doing is we're going through and we're just pulling and tacking and making sure that everything fits in here. We're making a nice swooping contour into the frame rail so that this rocker panel looks like it's part of the frame, but it's just a big box for looks. But I think the C-Boys are gonna be pretty happy with it. And our goal is to try to give this to them by SEMA. So if everything goes as planned, that's what we're gonna do. All right, so we got this all blended in, welded, ground. We're ready to put this panel on. So we've got side panel we built. It's gonna go right here next to the cowl. So we're gonna get this tacked in place. And then what we're gonna do is we've gotta fit the fender. So we put some tabs right here that we're gonna weld the fender to. And we've actually welded the door shut so it doesn't move. So we got a few little brackets. This is right where we want it. We've got to gap the bottom still just a little bit, but we need to get the fender up there, weld it, so we can cut the arch out of it. So that's what we're gonna work on right now. We got a few more tacks on this, and then we'll grab the fender and get it tacked up. So what we're gonna do, like I said, is get this tacked here, and we'll cut the arch out of it, and then we gotta rebuild a new wheel lip for it, and we gotta cut this off and put in a big old scoop style vent. So it's gonna look awesome. Now, do you want to trim that and then we'll tack it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll trim that off. We'll put a tack down here. And then we're going to cut that. Now that'll be the unboltable fender. Can't ever remove it. Oh, is the front good?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so I don't cut circles with cutoffs, so Sean does. We're gonna let Sean actually cut that so I don't lose a limb.
A lot of fenders on. A lot of fenders.
All right, we're just gonna put the tire up just for look-sees, see what it looks like, and then we're gonna let Sean do some magic. I'll show you all the pieces that we got that need to go into this fender, and we'll let him work for a little bit without interruption. All right, so now you can kind of get the idea of what it's gonna look like. I'll grab a few parts that Sean's got pre-made that we need to get into the fender. So this right here is gonna be the new bottom piece of the fender. So we made it out of cardboard. Sean's been working on it. This is gonna actually match the rocker, and it's gonna get cut in place of this right here. And then what we're gonna do, we got these little vents. So we're gonna put 3 vents in there, and it'll actually divert air and look super cool. And anyway, so we're gonna let Sean work on that. That's the next plan of attack, is get that fender all dialed in.
All right, Robby and them guys, they're all out heading east, go racing. So I've been working on this side today, getting all the tubes and the mount for the fender, getting that all in. Pretty well got it all tacked, but I'll have to weld it up. So before Robby left, we debated on whether or not how to mount the fender, like on the pacer. We mounted it with just tabs off the tubes, but this one we decided to mount a little more solid because we know the C-Boys, they're going to be hard on it. So we decided to go this route with strip and everything, but we kind of cheated. We got this side coming up the same, so this side's already all welded. We wanted to catch up that side with this side, and we just got carried away with it before Robby left, but we wanted to get it done before that, so it's pretty good. But I'll keep you guys updated as we go. All right, I thought I'd give you guys a little update. Getting stuff welded up. It's a bit of overkill, but we want it strong, so if they hit a tree again, you know, they'll be safe. And it'll make the car more rigid. And it's gonna have a lot more power now. It's gonna be twin turboed and everything, so we'll keep you updated. All right, got it all welded up. Now I gotta cut this fender right along here, put the scoop in it. Before Robby left, we banged out that other side. That's what it's gonna look like. These are just stuck in that. that's what we got to put in there. Put that scoop in there. Once we get that done, I'll show you. All right, got the scoop done. The main part anyways. The main part done. I gotta build this piece right here. This piece right here. We'll build that. It's rounded on the bottom, and then it slowly tapers up to a 90-degree edge, like the wheel lip. So I'm gonna do the wheel lip next, like this one. You can see it returns up. I'll make that, and then I'll do this piece. And then that side will be done. So that'll be pretty cool. I got a start on it right now. You can see. Get started. Have to do some shrinking, stretching, make it fit. So we'll get it done. All right, you can see how bad the gaps are. So we're gonna fix that quick, and then I'll show you what it looks like. All right, as you can see, got the door gap looking pretty good. Basically, got the front tire on. Pretty crazy how far it turned. See. Both sides are caught up to each other, and we'll move on to other stuff. So maybe like turbos and radiator and stuff, we'll get that all done. Got some pretty crazy headers we'll show you. That'll be pretty cool. All right, you can see I hole sawed a whole bunch of holes in here, 9 of them, and we're gonna weld a piece of pipe through it. I'll weld them all up, and then that way when we put the radiator in, it can still get a little air through there. Just every bit of air helps, so I'll get them welded up, and then I'll show you what they look like. All right, as you can see, I got it all welded up, so I think it should look pretty cool once it's powder coated. And we'll let a lot of air through. That would have blocked a lot of air on the radiator, and we don't want that. We gotta keep it cool, so.
All right, so Sean has been working his butt off for 2 weeks. We just went on the East Coast. We did Connecticut to Boston to New York to Tennessee to Kentucky to Tennessee to Kansas to Denver to Utah, Cannonball Run. So we bought us a 2007 Lincoln Town Car limo, and we drove with our 5 best friends across the country. It was 3,000 miles. And while we were away, Sean went ahead and kept working on the C-Boys Hoonicorn Replica. So, got a ton of stuff done. Now, you guys saw before I left, I'd cut the wheel arch. Well, Sean went ahead, he got the vent put in right here. He got the upright put in, got the wheel lip all finished, and the mounting structure for the fender. So, this thing turned out awesome. And now that I'm back, I'm gonna show you guys. Now, you may have seen in some of Sean's footage that we actually have the passenger side completed. So, check this out. So right behind me, you see the Hoonicorn Replica. That's the passenger side. It's finished. I mean, it's not finished, but it looks pretty dang good. So anyway, we worked 4 months on getting this side done in secret. But now we can finally show you guys that most, I would say 60% of the metalwork on the Hoonicorn Replica is finished. We still need to do the front, we still need to do the twin turbo kit, and we still need to put the radiator in. But now that I'm back, and you guys see the progress that we have made, Sean is just a rock star. Anyway, we're gonna work on making mounts for the radiators. Now right here, he put speed holes so that we can get all the air into that radiator, keep this thing cooled for the C-Boys, keep this thing as cool as possible for the C-Boys, but also making it look awesome. So anyway, got that all done. I've got a bunch of templates over on my Fast Cut CNC. We're gonna go over and use our tracer, trace them all out, cut them out. That way we can show you guys how the radiator is gonna go in. Now our friends over at Holley Performance sent us the radiator, and we'll show you guys that here in a little bit. But it is a direct fit for a 2013 Ford Mustang with the Coyote. So in case they ever wreck it, they can change it. So anyway, got a lot of stuff done, got a lot of stuff to do, but this thing is coming along. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. Yeah, it's gonna take a while, but stay with us because there is so much hand fabrication going into this car, but the C-Boys deserve it, and we're super pumped to be doing it. And it's a nod to the legend himself, Ken Block. We are trying to recreate as much aesthetics as possible to make this look like an original Hoonicorn. So anyway, let's go trace out some stuff, get some metal burning, and we'll keep working on the radiator. There's Sean in his natural habitat. Just making cool stuff. All right, welcome to How to Trace on my Tracer 101. So we've got some templates here. This is the biggest one. This is gonna be the upper radiator support panel. And then we've got 2 lowers. So we're gonna make 2 of these, and we're gonna make 2 of these. Now these are gonna be brackets that go on the side. For each side, this gets bolted in, or this gets welded in, this gets welded in, this gets bolted in. I'm gonna put them on my tracer, tape them down. We're gonna make the pieces, and then we'll transfer them over to the plasma table, and we'll cut them out. So I'm gonna leave you guys on a tripod. So I went ahead and taped this down. I'm gonna use my little tracer, and I'm just gonna start tracing what I'm doing is I'm transitioning from line to arc. And you got to be very careful to know where you're at. Press the right button. I mark it out because you have to have 3 lines per arc. So you have 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. So start 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, and now I'm back to a line. So now I've got my S curve. So I've got my little zigzag S curve in there. Now I'm gonna go back to line. All right, so I've got the outline of this done. Now I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like to put the inside stuff in it. Here I'm gonna put a circle, and then I'm gonna put this weird little thingy in there. So this one is a 1 1/8 inch circle, so that one will be simple. I'll show you that, and then this one I've got to trace around it. So a little bit more complex. So I'm gonna go ahead and just save this and move on to the next part. All right, we got the outline traced. Now we just got to put an 1 1/4 inch circle. So I'll show you guys that on the screen. So we can click on our 1 point circle, change it to 1 1/4 inch, save it, find our center mark. Boom. Just that easy, but that is not going to work. We're going to take that away. All right, now that we've got the 2 little brackets drawn up, I got to make 2 pieces of each. I'm going to take a break from sketching and go talk to Sean, figure out if we are going to use aluminum or steel, and then I'll come back and I'll draw the big one, and then we will get it all cut out. But I'm doing this all in separate programs because this program, I've noticed, only likes to make like 1 piece at a time, but then I can nest it all together and actually cut it all at once. So we'll just do that. Anyway, you can see how simple it is with the tracer. Otherwise, this would take me hours in the computer of designing in CAD and then putting it into my other programs to cut it out on the table. But this fast cut CNC makes this thing so simple. And this is a Zyatech tracing board. I don't even think it's for automotive, but it works so well that we use it. So anyway, hope you guys enjoy this. If you don't, sorry. If you do, awesome, thank you. But anyway, having a lot of fun doing this, and I can't express how much we love doing this Hoonicorn replica. It's so awesome. All right, so I'm gonna do the big one. I gotta mark out all my arcs. I've got all the center arcs. I'm gonna start with my line. We'll get the inside or the outside all done. This is how quick. So awesome.
6.5 hours later.
All right, I screwed up. I gotta start over. So I taped this down in my toolbar. So now my toolbar, when I click on it, thinks I'm trying to change stuff. So I'm gonna move this up here and we're gonna do a real quick restart. So sometimes you screw up. That's fine. We're gonna go here. 1, 2, 3. But now that I know my toolbar, so I got a toolbar right here. So I'm gonna switch to arc. Boom. We're gonna arc out of this. Oh no, we're not. We're gonna go back to line. Line. Arc. Boom. Got it. Arc. Arc. Line. Boom. And we're gonna finish this out with a down line. Close it off. Okay. Got the outside traced. Now I'm gonna do all the inside stuff. All right, so we've got everything drawn up, programmed, and we are ready to cut it out. So I'm gonna hit my little button on my Xbox controller, fire in the hole. All right, everything got cut out really nice. We're gonna pick all this up, put it out on Sean's table, check the templates, and then tomorrow morning, we'll get it all cleaned up and get these suckers welded in and show you guys the awesome radiator that we got from our buddies over at Holley Performance. So, working the night shift, it's kind of nice to work alone sometimes, but I really don't think that these could get any better. That tracer is a game changer. So, make it super nice. The metal that we just cut out is exactly like the template told it to be. So, tomorrow morning, we'll get them all cleaned up, get them welded in like we said, and get this thing moving along. Pretty soon, you're gonna be able to see just how awesome this front end is gonna be, because we're gonna be building the core support, mounting the radiator, and getting all that structure tied in to where we can start twin turboing it and finishing out this front end. But this Hoonicorn Replica is coming along so nice. I don't know when it's gonna be done, but when it is done, the C-Boys are gonna love it. And hopefully Ben is gentle with it. But I think maybe they'll have some lessons by then and they'll be a lot better, but they can drift better than me, so I can't really say anything. So anyway, we'll be back in the morning. So we got a factory replacement radiator from Holley Performance. This is a DeWitt aluminum radiator. This thing is gonna cool that Coyote better than factory because it's a factory replacement. So super expensive, but the guys over at Holley took care of us, hooked us up with a little bit of a discount, so we were able to get this awesome aluminum radiator for the C-Boys. We're gonna get it put into place, figure out the center. Well, we already got it marked, so we're gonna put it in center, get our brackets all laid out, tack it, and hopefully get this radiator mounted. Not hooked up, but mounted in this video. So all this stuff takes so much time. It's ridiculous how much time it takes. Last night I was 3 hours making brackets. Sean was probably another hour making templates, and we're gonna be a couple hours putting it in today. So school takes time. Can't rush it. So we've got all these aluminum blocks holding everything to where it's perfectly where we want it. We'll grab the TIG, we'll get it tacked, move all the blocks out of the way, get the radiator out of the way, weld it in. But I think we'll work on the top plate first. But I'm not. Sean just keeps dropping the stuff. All right, so I've got the two lower brackets all tacked in, put some fat welds on them so that it'll hold the radiator. We'll get the radiator put back in, and now we're gonna work on getting the top, and then once all that's done, we'll finish welding the whole thing out. All right, so what you guys just saw is that our bender is way too weak. That is a 25-ton bender, and it won't bend 1/4 inch. Now, I do realize we got the wrong die in it, but that's all we got. So Sean's gonna bend it by hand, and then we'll show you what we've bent on that upper core support that we're building. All right, as soon as I shut the camera off, the bender decided to show up for work. So it bent them. Now you can see how we've got the upper tie bar. We wanted to bend those little 45s off the edge so that we can follow the upper rail of the fender mount. And now we're gonna weld some side brackets on it, get it all dressed up, get it ground, and then, yeah, radiator will be mounted. All right, we got it all fit. So I'm gonna tack this side so that it keeps the upper tie bar that we're building from rolling. And we'll fit the other side and get it tacked in place too. All right, this side's all tacked. Now it's not gonna move. It's gonna help stabilize the other side, and we'll get that all ground and fit. So we need to make a piece of metal that goes on the front of that core support and on the rear. So I'm just gonna go into my TurboCAD and draw it up real quick. I'm not gonna trace it. It's just gonna be quicker to do that. So you guys get to hang out and watch me design some stuff. So it's just gonna be 1 inch thick by 42 inches wide. And then the other one will be 1 inch thick by 42.5. All right, I got the pieces all plasma cut out. Sean's gonna get them all dressed up, and we're gonna get them tacked on the upper tie bar. So then we'll show you guys what that thing's gonna look like. All right, we've got this all fit. Sean bent it, so we're gonna get it up in here. We're gonna tack it across it, and then pull this core support out. All right, we're gonna get this all welded up. Well, finish welding it. All right, so the upper tie bar is welded. We've got everything installed on the radiator. So we've made a lot of progress on this. So we've got the fender all completely done. We got the rocker panel all finished. We got the door fit. The front structure's all done. And now we have the radiator and the upper tie bar all installed and finished. So we're making a ton of progress on the C-Boys Hoonicorn Replica, but we're not done yet. All right, so on this video, it took about 2.5 weeks to get this much progress, so you guys can see what it takes to do what we're doing. But if you never quit, you'll never fail. Thanks for watching.